Hello folks and welcome back. So last time we were looking or working on getting the old leaf spring cut out of the car. We were able to do that successfully. Now we're going to start looking at how we get the new one on the car and get the shocks on and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on that. Okie dokie. So now that we got the leaf spring off the car, it's time to get a new leaf spring on the car. So we got our new leaf spring here from CJ Pony Parts. As you can tell by the logo, we're gonna cut through and open this up. And get her out of the box, which is strapped and stapled. Look. Come here, box. You're heavy. And you keep going this side the other way, which is not the way I want you to slide. Okay. Okay. So remember to get a couple of these staples up that popped loose and onto the ground while my wife pulls her Mustang in here. Don't need any flat tires. Ooh, in case you can't tell, this spring is not the lightest thing in the world. Okay. Come on out. There we go. Okay, so here's our new leaf spring that's going to go on. And by the way, the LS doesn't stand for left side, that stands for leaf spring. On there, nice looking spring for a leaf spring. I don't know. You know, it does have a bunch of the box stuff still stuck to it, which I'm going to clean off some. Get some more primer on that. Anyway, I'll have to worry about cleaning that up later. So this goes on the car. Notice one of these, you can see that, has no bushing in it. And one comes preloaded with a bushing and a sleeve in it here. The one with the bushing preloaded in it goes to the front of the car. The one missing the bushing goes to the back of the car. So this goes on the car like so. There. So to go with that, I should have already pulled out the other parts. So I'm going to get the other parts we have and go with. Okay, we're going to start with this end, the side to the front of the car. Got the new bolt and nut that are going to go on there. They're 3/4 inch, in case you need to know what size wrench you got. I already got a couple of wrenches pulled out. First thing I'm going to go ahead and do is put some anti-seize on the bolt. So when I feed it through, it's good. Notice that's why I'm wearing gloves. Yep. So you got that on the bolt, nice. That over there. My light so I can see better up there. There we go. Oh, by the way, found the bushings. They're on the shackle. So Oh, I feel stupid. Okay. So feeding the bolt through the frame of the car first. I'm trying to get this positioned. We can then hopefully push that through. I have to get under here where I can see. Of course, I don't want this thing falling in my face. That would sure hurt. Like that. Ow. That cheekbone didn't like that. It's a very tight fit, so it's very hard to see the alignment. There we go. There we go. Well, where did I put the nut? Where did I put the nut? Oh, there's the nut. There's my wrenches. Start it on there. Now, I'm sure there's so many foot-pounds of torque that you're supposed to put on this thing. I don't have a torque wrench, and I'm not that fancy, so the torque will be as tight as I can make it, which might be the wrong answer. Again, I'm not a mechanic, I'm a computer guy. GIS, to be specific. Although I do build my own computers, and my professional channel, EGIS Associates, has several videos where I have built computers. Okay, so there we go. The front part of the leaf spring is in. Now we're going to go to the back. I've got to adjust you a little bit to get you over that way. And you can see my heater there. Okay. So with the shackles, or shackle, again, these parts all came from CJ Pony Parts. Not a sponsor by any stretch of the imagination, although I'd be very happy if they would become one. You know, this is paid for by anybody. It's just me. Okay. So what happens is up there in the frame, there's a hole that was that the shackle passes through and these bushings go into. Now, doesn't matter. I don't think it matters if you go this way or this way. It depends on the space you have up under there. And I'll let you know once I get back up under here and look at which way I think is going to be the easiest. Okay. So it's right up here is where that is, just in front of the tow hook. That looks like that should work. I don't know that it matters. So feed that through. The bushing only goes through half of that hole. Take the other half and slide it through. Push it in. Okay, like so. Well, I'm going to go. You don't put on the nut because you've got to put this piece on after you've got the leaf spring lifted in place and on here. So now I'm going to lift this bad boy up. Get it in place, feed it onto the bushing that's on the lower part of that shackle. Get the other piece, slide it through, push it on. So I'm going to push it on. Get that heater working me a little bit too close. Okay, there we go. Now I've seen people line put WD-40 or something, some lubricant on the bushing before you put it in there. Maybe I should have done that, but I didn't. One thing I do need to find out is what size this nut is. It's either 1/2 inch or 9/16. So 1/2 inch seems too small. Oh, 9/16 is good. Go ahead and feed these. Now these are locking nuts. We got some junk in the threads. Get that out. And put this on. Hi dear, yes, I'm also filming a video while I'm doing this.
I just heard you talking. I'm like, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my wonderful YouTube followers.
Okay. What's this?
Okay. Boobus wants to come say hello to our YouTube channel. Hi, sweetheart. Yes, hi, sweet kitty. Her actual name is Stalma. We nicknamed her Boobus. Don't ask me how that started. Like most things with animals, it starts. Say hello to YouTube channel. There we go, Boobus. Don't go away. Okay. So rear part of leaf spring is on. Next part, I'll adjust y'all again. Here will be the U-bolts and the bracket. Now it's important when you put the bracket on that you pay attention to how it mounts, because the shock also mounts here. That's where the shock mounts. The U-bolts come here, and this hole in the center lines up to there's a stud on the bottom of the or nut and bolt on the bottom of the leaf spring. So this is going to go in like so. So I'm taking it like this, fitting it up underneath, and then we'll put that in like that. What I am going to do is go ahead and lower, put my jack in. Right now I've got the axle kind of supported on the jack stand under there. I want to lower it now that I've got all the bolts holding the front and the end of the leaf spring up, so that there was no tension on the spring. Now I'm ready to put the axle back down. So I'm going to jack the axle up here and then get that jack stand out. So I'm going to get my jack and do that. This is where having one of those bigger jacks is always nice, but I don't have that one. I've had this jack since 1987, 8, and one of my Duralast jack stands. Again, you want to let it down. See if I can move you where you can see this better. It's actually not bad. So what we're going to do is lower the axle down. You'll see this pin here. There's a hole in this bracket right here that you've got to align. As you're lowering this down, that needs to match up to. So that is what I'm going to try to do here. And do it slowly, and hopefully I won't crush my phone while I'm doing this. Try to keep the light here. You can see that. See what we got here. Pretty damn close. There we go. Right there. Now we'll let her down the rest of the way. Perfect. If I get the jacket. Okay. So now the spring here is actually supporting the weight of the axle here. So now we put in our U-bolts and our bracket. So I'm going to have to get a hammer because these don't like each other often enough. We'll see. Might be able to get them on. I've had some issues with this in the past. On the other side, took a little bit of finagling and finesse to get these together. Let's see here. Put that in. Now, I'll be honest, if I'd been smart, I would have sprayed these with some paint primer. I don't have any more. I used it all yesterday. And it's a little cold to be spraying it. It's supposed to be like 60, 70 degrees minimum for that, and it's more like 40 something degrees out here, so. I'm trying to line it up. You remember, if you watched my other video when I was taking the other leaf spring, or taking the old leaf spring off, there's actually marks on the axle where the old U-bolts went. And you're trying to keep them as even as possible. On the sides. That's what I'm trying to do. I don't know if that really matters, honestly. Okay, now let's see the fitment with the bracket down here.
Hi, mister.
Hello.
Hi, mister.
Hello. Okay. I have to. Angle. Okay, as I thought, I'm going to have to finagle these some. So anyway, I'm not going to film that. Basically what I'm going to do is pull these off and then kind of try to hammer the bottoms down some, because that's what it's got to do. I've got to compress them some. So I'm sure there are many ways to do this, but I just use hammers and try to smash the ends together. And it works, or it worked on the other side, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll show you the final product when I'm done using some movie magic. Okay, and through the power of movie magic, TV magic, what do you want to call it, we have the bracket in place. Slide down here. Hopefully that's not too close. And you can see it all there. So it did take a little finagling with these U-bolts, because they're really exactly they're pretty damn close to the same diameter bend in them as the axle. So when you put them on, the ends, there we go, down here tend to spread out, which makes them not want to fit in the bracket down there. So it takes a little bit of finagling, beating them. If you had a pipe of similar diameter to this that you could put them on and maybe heat them and hammer them some, you might be able to do something like that. I'm always hesitant to heat stuff like this because I don't want to mess with the temper on it, whatever. But anyway, it just takes a little finagling with a hammer to kind of get them in place. So what I did is I actually put the nuts on the bolt, held it, and then put the nuts on there so I don't mess up the threads, and then just use my hammer to smack it a bunch, test fit several times, and then get it close, and then you can kind of start getting it started in the bracket, kind of using the hammer to tweak and nudge it till it gets on there. And then once it slides on, it's pretty easy. But anyway, that's what we did. So now the new leaf spring is installed here on the passenger side. Next thing I've got is the shock. So there's the old shock here. I'm going to take this off. So this little chain wrench that you see here, I use because I had to do this by myself, because this sits in the car, and if you try to undo the nut that's at that end by yourself, this part will spin, making you trying to get the nut off next to impossible unless you're using some sort of impact wrench or something like that. So what I did is I put this chain strap wrench on it so that underneath the car it would hit the bottom of the car, hold it in place while I undid the nut that was on the upside here. So that shock, like I said, that's the old one that was on the car, goes, let's see if I can get in here to show you. So it's going to go from, let's see, turn it down. Okay, yep. So this is that bracket we just mounted. So it's the bottom going to go here. Then if you look up under the car, let's see if I can get the light up here a little bit better. Where's that hole? Ah, there we go. Up into that hole, which actually goes into the trunk of the car, in the area just behind the seat. So you got to peel back any sort of sound deadening protection, heat protection, or whatever that's in the trunk. And there's also a rubber grommet thing that I'll show you later. Goes there. So I'm going to put the new shock in there, and we have the new shock right there. So that's what we're going to put on. I think this actually came from Rock Auto. Looks like it already extended. Oh, damn it, it did. Okay, so it had already extended while we were getting you positioned. So now it's in up at the top and down here at the bottom. So now it's time to just mount it in here and tie it down, or stitch it down. Again, bushing, washer, and oops. Actually two nuts in this particular one. One's a locking nut and one's a regular nut. So locking nut is smaller, not as thick. The regular one, so we'll put the regular one on first. Get it tightened down. I think that's a ½ inch. And I would be wrong. It's 9/16. Come here, 9/16. Here we go. Going the wrong way. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So notice as I start to tighten it starts to turn. So that's where we got to hold it. Place to keep it from turning, which, I mean, it doesn't hurt it to turn, so. But I'll put the locking nut, so that the other nut on the bottom is supposed to help the other one not back off. Keep things okay. I'm just like the shock marker emblem to be facing out. So now it's time to go up into the trunk. and do the other end of it. So I'm going to show you where it is. I'm not going to show me doing it because I've got to climb in the trunk, which, since I turn 50 next weekend, I don't do very good. So, okay, if you can see, let's see if I can get up in here. You can see it. Yep. So, there we go. I think, let's see here. There's my trunk. It's actually not in bad shape. Right back there is the hole in the trunk. That's the back seat. This is all the material for sound deadening and heat control. And it's all falling apart. I'm going to have to get some more stuff put in here. But anyway, so back there is where that end of the shock comes through. So we're going to have to put a bushing, basically everything we did below, bushing, washer, and nut on there. So that's what I'm going to do now. And then we're well done, except for putting the tire back on and stuff. So I'm going to finish that up and see how it goes. Okay, so I think we're done. We have the new shock fully installed in there. Turn around so you can see that. There's the new shock. Of course, we got the leaf spring installed with all of its new hardware. So we got new U-bolts, new bolts, if I get up under there, connecting the front of the leaf spring with new bushings, or new bushing including in that. And then of course back here at the rear, they've got the new shackle. So that means pretty much the entire, well, doesn't mean pretty much, the entire suspension on the car has been rebuilt. You can see over there on the other side, that's the driver's side. We have the new leaf spring and new shock over there. Also all new connecting hardware on it. So that means Operation Leaf Spring Replacement is now complete. These Socos, there's one of our other kitties. And then up here, so you can get in there, that's the coil spring on the front. So new coil spring, new shocks, actually whole new control things here too. So we got new upper and lower control arms, spring saddles, all the new bushings up here as well. So whole suspension on the car has been replaced. And yes, we're a Ford family. Next big project is going to be up under here, and that's going to be the exhaust system. So we're going to be replacing this old original exhaust manifold. I don't know if you can see back up in there, tell, but I've cut out most of the exhaust pipes in there. We'll be replacing all of that as part of our next project because, well, it needs it, and it leaked like a sieve with exhaust leaks. But we got all new parts. Over there in the corner, we got our exhaust pipe. We also have a new fuel line to run from the fuel tank up to the fuel pump. Get that in there as well. And then over here, we have our new exhaust manifold in this box. And then over here on the side, you can see our new exhaust outlet going into the box that has the new muffler in it. So right now I'm going back with a stock exhaust on the car. One day I may upgrade and put headers and all that stuff on there, but for now we're going to go back to exhaust. So yay, big project complete. And now, like I said, planning for the next one, that exhaust system. So hope you enjoyed the video. Try to give it a like. If you want to subscribe as I post new videos, if you want to follow the progress of the car, please do that. Want to thank a couple of folks that have really helped me figure out how to do all this stuff. Let's see, what is that? Auto Resto Mod, Jeff Ford and his channel have been a big help on here. Grease Rookie, who's also working on his own 65 Mustang, getting it restored. It also has the inline 6, so kind of been fun following his progress and whatnot. So I'm going to give him a shout out, and I'll try to put links down in that. So with that, guys, hope you enjoy the progress, and I'll see y'all in the next video.